Okay, it is Saturday, June 10th, 2017, and on Friday there was a massive sell-off in the Nasdaq. The Dow didn't really do much. The Russell pulled back also, but not too much because it rallied a lot. The S&P went up and then pulled back. So what happened? I'm gonna present something that I see that could happen based on historical patterns. And then there's no guarantee this will happen, but I think it's very similar to what has happened in the past. So I'll pull up some charts to show you. So in terms of news, June 9th, this was the UK election. The UK election kind of came out at this time, actually the day before. And it's kind of like the day after it rallied and then crapped. So if we go to lifestyletrading101.com and we search for Draghi, because in March of 2016, I'll pull up this chart. So we had something similar where in the same day it went up, crapped, and then rallied back, and it closed basically almost unchanged. So again, compare this on March 11th, 2016. That's this March 14th. Well, March 11th actually, and then compare that with this, where we had a potentially a high and then a low, and then back to where we were. So that high in this case was only marginally higher than a previous high, but in the S&P 500 case, it was higher by I guess at least a few points. If we look at it, I guess it was higher by like 4 points. Okay, so a little bit more than last time, but it did have this kind of ABC pattern, right? ABC, and I'm potentially looking at this as a fourth wave. So let's look at this drop zoomed in on March 10th. So if we look down, here's a 5-minute chart of March 10th. So we had a rally up at 8 a.m. and if we look at this, the rally up was towards, let's say 11 a.m. So it's a 3-hour difference. This was 8 a.m. and then it basically had a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, wave 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the last wave 5. That was 1 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., that's 5 hours. So what happened here? We had a, let's see. So we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, and then 4. And then in this case, the wave 5 was much larger than it was over here. So we had it just kind of just straight out all selling for, continuous, like 24, 30 all the way to 24, like 12 or 13. But it has that same structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then for that last hour, it just kind of moved back up roughly to break even, such that on the daily candles you have this kind of formation, right? A lot of range, but in the end just stuck there in the middle for the end of the day. So what does a daily look like on March 2016? That's had this candle, right? So we had an A, B, C, and then ended the day roughly flat. So I mean, this is not exactly the same as where we are today, because we're at all-time highs, whereas here we were kind of off the major correction. But I do see this pattern, and I mean, there was one other time that I thought that would happen. That was here in September, in ABC, fourth wave, and then I was looking for a fifth wave. Up because we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and it had the structure to go up, but the thing is, it turned out to be dragged out into the election. So instead of an ABC, followed by up, it was ABC. That was A, and then this is B, and then we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so that was that was what developed. So that's a possibility, but the thing is, this happened. This wasn't all in one day, right? So this example is not exactly the same um, as this one, where it was all happening in one day, where it hit this top, hit the bottom, and then tried to go back up. That happened with a political event with Draghi. So what happened last time? After it hit this bottom, went up, and then overnight it started doing it consolidated. I guess maybe what this is like at 10 p.m. It started to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, B, C. So basically, by the time the morning opened, we basically opened near the top of where that B was. So I'm not saying this is gonna happen this time, but if it were to happen, then what happens next? We could use this kind of as a guideline for what might happen afterwards. So basically, in this case today, if that pattern is to be followed, then what would have to happen is we Sunday night would open, we'd consolidate, and then close to midnight, it would start doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, such that by the time the morning opens, we're opening around 24:40, right? So, and then we would basically stay there for most of the day, and maybe towards the end we would start moving back up. So that's where. Oh, here it is. So yeah, basically it would consolidate, and then towards the end of the day, it would start moving up, and then over the evening, it would continue moving up. But there were some differences. Last time that was on a Thursday going into a Friday. This time we have a Friday going into a weekend, so it's not the same. So that's there's definitely differences to keep in mind. Now the Nasdaq, I mean, this just got slaughtered. I probably should have kind of saw this coming. But it's just a lot of things to watch. We have the 1, 2. We had a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. It looked bullish, right? So we had a 3, and then ABC 4, and then so this is an ABC 4, and then the fifth wave here. And then what happened was this was an A wave down, followed by an ABC B wave, followed by and no, this is ABC A wave, and then followed by B wave gap, and then followed by a 1, 2, 3 AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C wave. So that would be an A B C. That's basically what happened. A big A down, A wave down, a B wave back to the highs, and then a crap C wave. Now the thing is, I thought the C wave would stop somewhere in this area, but it went all the way down here. So now we have to zoom out and look at what is that. From the looks of it, this looks like a big wave 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that looks like a really bullish setup. I don't know if that's going to be what happens. It could be that this consolidates and does something else, but we already have like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe this is double extensions. I don't know, but this does look like a 1, 2, 1, 2, where the big red drop would be a 1-day event. Now I don't know if it's going to be a 1-day event. Maybe it's something else. Maybe we completed maybe this is a 4th wave and that's a 5th, and then and then we pull back a lot more than we expected. But based on how all the other charts are doing, I mean, Nasdaq didn't look so good on Friday. But based on how the Russell's looking, that looks bullish. The S&P 500, which just broke into new highs and is holding this 2400 support, and even though it tested 2412, it bounced quickly off of that. The Dow, 3, 4, AB, 1, 2. This looks like a 1, 2 setup. They all look bullish. So it looks like the rest of June into July could be a bullish move. Now, but the thing is, I'm hesitant about the Nasdaq because of how much it's gone up already. So I would say of these four indices, the Nasdaq is least confident. Uh, Most confident would probably be the Russell and Dow, and closely followed by the S&P 500. The move I expected, I thought this would be, I thought this would be a wave two, and we had a wave three, and I thought the wave three would continue in this direction, but instead we got an ABC A, big A wave, and then a big B wave and a big C wave. Now, I still think this could follow the overnight pattern, but I guess we'll see Monday morning whether that pattern actually plays out. If it doesn't, then we could just be consolidating up and back and forth between this range again. But in terms of support, this 2403 reacted strongly from last time. Now we have 2412 that also reacted strongly from on the upside. So as long as we don't dip back in this area, the pressure should be on the upside. So those are the markets. Now with gold and silver, I'm starting to lose confidence in the long-term silver playing out. We cleared 17, which was a good sign. But the thing is, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big wave one, followed by wave two pullback, and either this is an A-B for consolidation before we start the 3, or this whole thing is an A, and then we get like an A-B-C pullback down back into this area for a B. But I would say this pullback was reasonable. This one even so, but then the continued sell-off on Friday, that should not have happened, because now this is no longer has a bullish setup. This has an AB mountain formation, and any pop towards 17.4 would likely be a sell rather than a hold. So that's silver, and then for gold, same thing. The setup was there. We had an ABC, and then a very strong 3 that followed through, but then gave it back all its gains. So right now support is at 1263. From there we may get a bounce, but the thing is, I don't expect it to go over 1290 in the next week. So that's the chart analysis for this week, and I'll post this video, and all the blog entries will be posted here at lifestyletrading101.com. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.